justice. James of Media Watch, which today should be re-entitled UN General Assembly Watch.
That's right.
Hashtag Rocket Man. Rocket Man, not Elton John's single from years ago, but
we'll get to that.
Kim Jong-un,
because it's been mentioned.
Yeah. James, over to you, sir.
All right. Well, look.
Take us wherever you want to go.
All right. We'll start with the Huffington Post French edition, wordplay everywhere. ONU, which is the UN, Organisation des Nations Unies, au nucléaire. So straight away, the concern of a nuclear strike on North Korea, which was very clearly alluded to by Donald Trump, threatening to totally destroy North Korea and even nicknaming Kim Jong-un Rocket Man. And so this is the tweet in which he repeats the language used. The US has great strength and patience, but if it is forced to defend itself or its allies, we will have no choice but to totally destroy North Korea. Now, just a quick look at some of the analysis that's coming in already on that. The Washington Post saying that basically he had already spoken of unleashing fire and fury, but he was sort of ad-libbing. And here, what is also happening is he's making mention of a massive response on behalf of the allies of the US. So this is really kind of broadening the reach of the language, and he's threatening to totally destroy the country. So what might have been language reserved for Kim Jong-un, fire and fury, and his government, now it's really being enlarged. So this is a threat that is being very much taken seriously because, of course, the language would have been thought through very clearly ahead of the speech. This seems to be Trump even more fully embracing the so-called madman theory, says the Washington Post, in which he makes himself so unpredictable that other world leaders fear setting him off. Problem is, it seems that Kim Jong-un appears to be adopting the same strategy. In any case, other comments. Nicholas Kristof of the New York Times. In January, Trump gave his famous American carnage speech. This UN speech is the global equivalent. Rocket Man. Only Trump could ruin a perfectly good Elton song while possibly provoking the end of civilization itself. Quite a dense tweet there. And we have, of course, every time there's a criticism of Donald Trump, there's also a load of people who are fans of his approach, which was strong, truthful, and full of leadership. Hashtag Rocket Man, provoking laughter amongst some, and happy to see liberals so-called triggered. So that's Donald Trump.
And where we kind of fall down, because there are very few North Koreans on Twitter, so we're getting no reaction from Pyongyang, no, because obviously it's a closed state. It's
totally,
you can't get in there, the hermit state, etc., etc.
Exactly.
But one can only imagine what they're thinking, hearing that. Tell us about Emmanuel Macron's performance. Some saying the anti-Trump.
But that is actually coming into a lot of headlines. You have the Le Monde here saying this was Emmanuel Macron posing as anti-Trump. Our own website talking about the aux antipodes, the complete opposite end of Donald Trump. And perhaps that was really very carefully crafted as an image as well. So look, just very quickly, you've been running through it, Mark, already in the bulletin. The Iran nuclear deal, very clearly taking a different position to Donald Trump. The Paris Agreement, this is not the first time we've seen Macron very strongly challenge Donald Trump on this. He shared on Twitter today the same image that he shared on the 2nd of June, which is make our planet great again. So he's even modifying the language of Donald Trump and taking it, and basically adopting the very opposite position. So instead of being unilateralist, make America great again, he's being multilateralist. It's all about the planet. And that language of multilateralism coming back again and again throughout his speech. I think some even laughing, saying that he used it 30 times. It's almost like he'd lost a bet and somebody told him to keep using it. And it's very much the same language that is being used as Guterres, the Secretary General of the UN. So he's very much in line with the philosophy and the spirit of the United Nations. Sophie Pilgrim of France 24, who's been following that in New York. Round of applause for Macron, discernibly louder than that for Trump. And I'll just finish with this image because I think it sums up really, in terms of those two maiden speeches by those two presidents, the very different approach in rhetoric and, I suppose, impact and image.
It's very funny, but it's actually hard to laugh.
I know.
Because some of the impact could be quite serious,
That's
could it
right.
not?
Dark humour, I suppose.
Dark humour.
Yeah.
The darker the better, some might say. James, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Mark.
Good to see you. James with the Media Watch, Kate with the business. Thank you. And, of course, thank you for being with us, because without you, it isn't worthwhile. Stay with us, more to come here, live from Paris.